Zaporizhzhia has once again become a focal point in this ongoing war. In the early hours of the morning, when most people were asleep, the silence was broken by the sound of incoming weapons. At 0011, a Buran-2 kamikaze drone struck an industrial complex on the right bank of the Dnipro River. The initial detonation tore through the facility and triggered a fire that could be seen from nearby neighborhoods. Just 8 minutes later, at 0019, the second wave arrived. This time it was not a drone, but a ballistic Iskander-M missile, a far more powerful weapon, traveling at hypersonic speed. It hit the same location, producing a massive fireball and shockwave that rattled windows across the city. The double strike revealed a clear tactical method. Drones used as the first punch, missiles as the finishing blow. For residents, the sequence of explosions was terrifying. 2 impacts, only minutes apart in the middle of the night. For the military, it was a demonstration of Russia's reliance on layered strikes, using inexpensive drones to weaken defenses and high-yield missiles to guarantee destruction. As so often happens in this war, the narratives quickly diverged. Russia announced that the operation was conducted by Group Dnipro, a formation active on the southern front. According to Moscow, the target was a Ukrainian military repair battalion workshop, a facility where damaged armored vehicles were restored and sent back to the battlefield. Destroying such a site, they argued, would cripple Ukraine's ability to sustain operations in Zaporizhzhia, an area where fighting has intensified. Pro-Russian media circulated footage showing the explosion, claiming it as proof of success. Ukraine presented a different picture. Local authorities reported 1 civilian killed and at least 15 others wounded, including 2 in critical condition. Emergency responders described burned-out cars, shattered warehouses, and a residential house in the Shevchenkivsky district reduced to rubble. Photos from the scene showed firefighters battling flames and residents sifting through debris. So, what was it? A legitimate military target, as Russia insists? Or an attack that once again extended into civilian areas, as Ukraine maintains? In truth, both accounts may contain elements of reality. A military facility may have existed, but civilians living nearby inevitably paid the price. Ukraine's response was immediate and direct. The prosecutor's office launched a criminal investigation, framing the incident as a potential war crime. President Volodymyr Zelensky used the opportunity to highlight his country's ongoing vulnerability. Speaking at an international forum, he stated, "Russia continues to use drones and missiles at night. They know civilians are the most exposed then. Ukraine urgently needs stronger air defense systems." From Moscow's perspective, the story looked entirely different. Officials dismissed Ukraine's accusations, arguing the strike was precise and limited to a military facility. To them, Western outrage was predictable and biased, another example of ignoring what they consider legitimate military actions. International reaction followed a familiar pattern. NATO issued a condemnation, calling the strike a violation of humanitarian law. Germany, France, and the United Kingdom released statements emphasizing that attacks on populated areas cannot be justified. Yet, for Ukraine, such statements rarely change conditions on the ground. Without the delivery of more air defense systems, Zaporizhzhia and other cities remain exposed. This was not an isolated event. Russia has repeatedly launched combined night attacks, deploying dozens of Shahed-type drones alongside cruise and ballistic missiles. The tactic forces Ukrainian air defenses to engage on multiple fronts, intercepting drones, tracking missiles, and conserving limited ammunition. Even when most incoming threats are intercepted, 1 or 2 that slip through can cause significant destruction. The double strike on Zaporizhzhia demonstrates the blurred lines of modern warfare. From Russia's point of view, the workshop was a legitimate military target, and destroying it disrupted Ukraine's logistics chain. From Ukraine's point of view, the death of a civilian and the destruction of homes prove that Russia's strikes are not limited or controlled, but rather a form of air terror. Both sides build narratives that serve their strategic needs. But beyond the rhetoric, the reality is that one night of strikes left behind rubble, casualties, and fear among ordinary people. The choice of weapons is also telling. The Geron 2 drone is relatively cheap, costing tens of thousands of dollars. The Iskander-M missile, on the other hand, is extremely expensive and destructive. Using them together shows Russia's willingness to spend resources to guarantee results, even when the target is contested. For Ukraine, this creates a constant dilemma, using million-dollar interceptors against drones worth a fraction of that, while saving enough defenses for missiles that are much harder to stop. Strategically, this attack may slow Ukraine's ability to repair and field vehicles in the Zaporizhzhia sector. Politically, it provides Kyiv with another example to present to international partners, proof, they argue, that Russian strikes continue to endanger civilians. And diplomatically, it highlights the ongoing stalemate, Russia insisting on military legitimacy, Ukraine emphasizing civilian harm, and the world divided in its interpretation. In the end, the Zaporizhzhia strike underscores one undeniable truth. In this war, the line between military and civilian targets is increasingly thin. Whether intentional or not, ordinary people are often caught in the middle. Will this particular strike alter the course of the conflict, or will it fade into the long list of nightly tragedies that have become routine in this war? Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to support this channel by subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss future analysis. This script was prepared using information from open sources, including both Ukrainian and Russian reports, as well as international media. Some visuals in the video may be reconstructions or AI-generated graphics due to limited access to original battlefield footage. The content is intended for informational and analytical purposes only, not as justification or promotion of either side in this conflict.